YouTubers. Obviously another weekend, which means another load of work on the cars. Black MX-5's done, gone, MOT'd, sorted. Kia's sorted everything else, so I don't need to do anything on that anyway now. The anti-roll bars are done. Greg is at Rockingham for a drift day. Don't know what Lebo's doing. Basically, I've got the day to myself today in the workshop, so I'm going to start cleaning up the new turbo for this. I might get on to putting it on the car. We'll see. But I need to take the actuator off, clean it all up, and put for the sandblaster on the end. Clean up just basically all of it, and I've got some engine enamel, heat-proof paint, probably just to give it a bit of a tart up and make it look a little bit nicer, because it's a bit grim because it has been on a car. There's a couple of snap studs as well. So that's the kind of the plan for today, and maybe we'll get it bolted on, but I'd like to take the exhaust manifold off this because it's been on a few months. I just don't know how it's faring up, so I want to check the cracks and things because it's been heat wrapped, you see, so I don't know whether there's any cracks under there or whatnot, so it might be worth just doing that as well. But we'll see what I can bothered and just see how far we get on. So sit back, enjoy, and I'm going to get the GT out. So those of you new to the channel, because I've recently got quite a few subscribers, what's happening is I've gone from NA to supercharged, then I went from supercharged to turbocharged as a T25 turbocharger from a Saab 9.3 Aero, I think, and I'm moving over to, which is underneath this chair, I think. Then I'm moving over to a TD04 15T, again from a Saab, but this is a Vigeland type, so this means it comes off the, high boost car. I still think it's the same body as the Aero, I think. I don't really know Saabs. Mainly this is like the upgrade that most of the Saab people do when they want a bit more oomph from their car, because the T25 is a bit small. Now, I'm not getting the boost that the T25 should be doing, but I think that's because my exhaust manifold is too restrictive, because I've built that one from a load of 90s and Ts. So the ultimate end game is to get a manifold like this without the extender, which is going from a T3 to a T2 flange. Yeah, so basically, yeah, the end game is to get a manifold like that and go with it. Now, I'm going to look about for a manifold, but I'll stay on this one that I've built for a while and just kind of see what I get with this turbo. And in theory, there will be a few changes to to the oil drains. Probably the water lines might have to change a little bit, and the inlet to the intercooler, which is obviously this end, may have to change because of the orientation of the new. I had to cut that one up quite a few times to get the orientation exactly right. Now, obviously, with a cast one, I've not got that ability, so I'm going to have to change around the turbo to make that work. But for now, we're going to see what this TD04 can do on my exhaust manifold. But again, I don't think, considering the T25 is not getting the full amount of boost it should be getting, I don't think this will either. It'll probably get a bit more. It might even get less, we don't know. But until I put it on, I won't know. But I think it's because of this is causing issues. It's just far too restrictive. Well, not this one, the one on my car. So yeah, so that's kind of up to date. So what the plan is today is to take it off this manifold, because like I say, that manifold in the flange adapter is all Gregor's. He's going to have my T25, and we're going to then definitely see whether it was because of my manifold. But by the time he gets on the car, I'll have probably already bought a new manifold. But today I want to take this off. I might put it through the shop blast to get all this clean, and generally just clean up all of the turbo itself. Get this thing's not supposed to be just here. Just basically clean it all up before it goes on. There's no point in putting a dirty turbo on, because people are going to see it and it'll annoy me anyway. So we're just trying to get all this detritus off, and just make it look a bit cleaner and ready to go on. We might get it on, we might not, who knows. So is that wobbly? No. Who knows? So sit back, enjoy, and we shall see. This thing has it's got a bit of in and out play, which is normal anyway. The oil will take that up, but there's no up and down shaft play, which that one's got a little bit. It used to have more, but I think when the amount it's done, it's kind of, you don't notice it because it doesn't hit the plenum, doesn't hit the blade doesn't hit the outer casing. It's still a good turbo. I mean, to be honest, the CHRA will just rebuild that and it'll be completely fine. And it will do for Gregor. It's saving some money as well, because it's only going to sit on the shelf, and once he's done with it, I will then clean it all up and have it as a house ornament, because that's the kind of shit I like. So anyway, sit back, enjoy. Let's get this looked at. So you can see we've got the actuator off now, which, yeah, I think I might send that through the shop blaster, just sandblast, just to keep it clean. I'll cover up the hose holes so it don't suck in any, and cover up that bottom one as well. Actual fact, thinking about it, I might just sand that, yeah, just to be on the safe side. But yeah, it needs it. And these shaft as well looks a bit grotty, so clean it up. I'll take this V-band off, which means we can get that side off. I need to get my circlips so I can get the other side off, so then the CHRA will come out in the middle, and I can clean up both these sides. This one just needs a bit of degreaser on it, and she'll look lovely. That one might need sandblasting, just to make it look a bit better. Nearly there. Okay, so we stripped it down, and don't know if I'm happy about how much in and out play that's got. There's no up and down, none at all. It's all got in and out. Should I just stick it on and see? Might put it all back together and see if it's going to be touching the inner edge. I could probably clean that up and just have a look. Seeing as I can't do any more work on the turbo because there's all the shaft play, thought I'd clean up this in the shot blaster. Look at that. Much better than before. Spend the time wisely while I'm waiting for the rebuild kit to arrive. So that can have a lick of paint, really. Awesome. Ta-da! That looks much better now. Once that will dry, put it on the car, and I've just done, come on, the inlet side, wherever. I've wrapped it up in this, and I've wrapped it up so good I can't bloody find it. There we go. Look at that. Much better. I mean, there's a few mottled areas, but it looks much better than it did. So that's all cleaned up. Yeah. Much better. So it'll look lovely on the car, that will. So all that, and then I've got to do the exhaust side now. Great. Okay, so as you can see, if I get the body, that is not ideal. There's no up and down. Well, I did it because it tightened the vise, but there is loads of in and out movement, which is not going to be good because that's going to catch, obviously, the casing. So that's a right for tight, no, right for loose, left for tight. They're opposites. Not take that off, pull the shaft out, and then we can start rebuilding the casing. But I'll show you what happens when you undo all that and you pull it all apart. So let's set the camera down. Set it down so you can actually see. Okay. Now we undo this knot. This is right for loose. There we go. Pull the inlet wheel off. And a bit of a clean on the back. You see all that dirt? Then the CHRA will pull out. There we go. So that's CHRA casing. I mean, I could just buy another casing, but they're all Chinese and they'll probably break as well. So we know that we've already got, if I take this thing, got some new ones there. So there is already one there. There's a bush as well that needs to come off, but there should be another one of those inside the CHRA. So we'll start doing the CHRA now. Okay, and there's a C-clip. Let's undo the C-clip. I think this kit might have come with new C-clips. Looks like it has. It's come out with some of them. C-clip out. So this should tap out. It says. Let's right. Let me go and get a small tapping hammer. One moment. And that is off and carboned up to shit. Okay, so we're ready to put back together. I put the new oil deflector bearing in and the thrust washer. So that's ready to slide in. Let's start that again, shall we? Last time you saw me, which was quite a few weeks ago, in this very video, I was rebuilding the turbo. I was rebuilding that turbo, which is now going to be a paperweight because it's knackered. So I'm going to turn it into a paperweight, so I'm doing something fancy with it. Turned out the shaft was bent, it was completely and utterly knackered. So a few weeks have passed, Christmas has come and gone by the time you see this video, and I have a new turbo to go in. Now this one, let's just get it to focus, is similar to that one, TDA4, but this one's had a balanced shaft and new plenum, or new compressor wheel, sorry, and it's only got about 4,000 miles on it, so it's a lot better. That one, it was completely shagged. When we put the rebuild kit in it, started putting the rebuild kit in it, we noticed the shaft was slightly crooked. It just wasn't going to be happy, so that's kaput now. It's going to be a paperweight, something, I don't know, put on the side of his desk or something like that. But as you can see in here, it is a mess. And what I've just shown in the camera, that is probably the key to it all. That's Gregor's engine, and it's got really bad rod knock, so he's replaced it. But as you can see on the floor, there is rust everywhere. So I must have been repairing an MX-5. So if you've been following my Instagram posts, then you'll notice that I was actually repairing Steve's NBFL, because the front chassis legs had rotted away. Pretty much a foot of it had rotted away from the suspension mounting points forward, and about 4 inches on the driver's side. So passenger side foot, driver's side about 4 inches. Right, so what I'm going to do is, I was going to attempt to tie this up, but I think I'm going to pull the MG over, push some of this crap over, and get the MG kind of in, and may start on some of my own work. Like I say, I haven't done any of my own stuff over Christmas. We've been doing everyone else and kind of helping out, but this place is now a tip because of it. So it needs a bit of a general tidy, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, right, I'll go get the MG and let's get this turbo off with the one on, then Greg can put the turbo on his car. Brilliant. See you in a bit. Raging fire again. So, as you can see, I got the MGB in. I've removed the turbo. You've seen me bolt this turbo up and everything probably 2 or 3 times on the channel, so there's generally no point in me showing that again, because all it is just me swearing at it. What I've already changed is this turbo. The new turbos come in with different Cobra lines. They're slightly smaller, oddly, than the T25, which I find really weird, but hey, doesn't matter. So, well, it's actually, I think it's just the banjo that's slightly smaller. So I've already done the lines. They're ready to go from the existing, from the new turbo. Bracketry's all off, which was all bolted to my rocker cover. Some of that stuff I've got to remake, which I'll show you now, the reason why I think I want to remake it. So, over here, as you can see, got engines and everything is a mess. I've got Gregor's front bumper because his car's out there. It does actually run now. But anyway, I digress. So, old turbo, T25. As you can see, that was that support bracket. So the bracket that I showed you just a second ago that went to the rocker cover to stop it from cracking the manifold and everything. People must always use something like this, because otherwise you're going to crack your manifolds. You can see it's bolted to the side of it, and then I had another arm there that went to the actuator, if you remember, which came off this. Well, this turbo doesn't have that capability, so I've already bolted it to the manifold. My lovely, and I've already put my adapters, which take it from an AN10 to an AN12, because I went for bigger lines, if you remember. Where most people go for AN10s, but I just wanted bigger. So I'm not going to get that drop, but might cause me problems later on, but who knows. So, as you can see, we must put the turbo that way round. That would have gone straight up to the manifold, which is going to be bolted there. This has got a stud just here. So it's going to have to, I could just rotate that, but then it still means this for the actuator, because I'm going to have to clock it, and at the moment the actuator's there, so it's going to be the same sort of affair. I'm going to have to just probably remake that, but we'll see. So anyway, the turbo's on. I've checked the manifold hadn't no leaks, it was fine. I've ground it all down, repainted it, stove enamelled, repaint while putting it on that log burner, bolted it all up, put a new gasket on there, put new studs in. There's not much more I can really do on that. All the banjos are in. It's bolted up, like I say, so it's kind of ready to go really. So what I need to do is offer it back up to the car and then see whether we can go choo-choo and remake the brackets. I still think it's probably going to leak out that between the manifold and the turbo itself, because it just doesn't seem just too tight. So I might have to, once it's on the car, I can really start hoinking it down, but we'll see. Right, let's get it on the car. Right, what I've done, I've got the turbo drain back on. That's lovely AN line, it's all Loctited up as well. Now what I was going to do is I've actually took off the outlet side of the turbo, because it's going to make it easy to mount it. Then I can slide that bit on, because I've got a muck about trying to get the exhaust onto it while getting the manifold on the studs, so it's going to be a bit more of a pain. So yeah, I need to get all that sorted, so I thought I'd take that off, make it a lot easier for me to kind of get in there and grab it, because I'm not going to break anything then. Here goes. Well, shit me, that went on easy. I mean, we're talking 5 seconds at the most. So straight on, lifted the manifold up, so now I know that is generally going to be the easier way, but something's going to fight me, because I bet you I've got to put the turbo on and I've got to screw this up to it now. It might need extending, that's the problem. So I have got another piece of AN12 line. I have to make it longer, which means taking it all off again. So I shouldn't have really Loctite that up, but I've got plenty of Loctite, so it's fine. But we'll mock the turbo in now. Okay, found my first issue. The AN drain line is just too short, so I'll show you exactly what I found once a moment. Okay, I'm going to show you if you can. I don't think you can see it. Basically, it just touches the threads of the joiner for the bottom of the turbo. You can't really tell. Just needs to be an inch longer. So I have found some more AN line, so I reckon take the other one to pieces and make it an inch longer, and that should do it with the same sort of bend and everything. So let's try and make this up. So the new turbo is on. Obviously I wasn't going to film bolting up because you've already seen me do it. Also, which we should have filmed but we've really forgotten because I was having too much fun, was Mr. G. Right there, if we can get it to focus. Can't really tell because of the light, but that is a turbo. Yep, full exhaust system is built, put an engine in, and a turbo's gone on. He's a happy bunny. Very happy. Yeah, so I'm about to go and take that out for a run. So let's see if I can wedge my phone or something in the seat, and because I broke my camera mount, and show you what it's like, because it's much better. Guys, here we go. I'm going to take the car out for a spin. I'm going to get Gregor to film, because I ain't got my mounts anymore. So, enjoy. Loading some more squirrels in.